The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When the Magi had departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Rise, take the child and his mother, flee to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you. Herod is going to search for the child to destroy him." Joseph rose and took the child and his mother by night and departed for Egypt. He stayed there until the death of Herod, that what the Lord had said through the prophet might be fulfilled. Quote, "Out of Egypt I have called my son." When Herod realized that he had been deceived by the Magi, he became furious. He ordered the massacre of all boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity 2 years and under, to accordance with what the time he had ascertained from the Magi. Then was fulfilled what had been said through Jeremiah the prophet. A voice was heard in Ramah, sobbing, loud lamentations, Rachel weeping for her children, and she would not be consoled, since they were no more. The Gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. This probably didn't happen as soon after the Nativity as we are celebrating Christmas on the 25th, today's the 28th. Didn't happen 3 days after. It probably happened a few years after the birth of Jesus. Maybe he was 3 years old or under, which also gives us a timeline for the Magi coming from the east in search of the child. And we celebrate that on Sunday, because when the Magi came, they went to visit Jesus, Mary, and Joseph in a house. So they were already established, but they were still living in the area in which Jesus was born, probably Nazareth. The holy innocence, the beauty and glory of Christmas comes to an abrupt halt as we read the scriptures today and realize that the terrorist, Herod, orders the massacre of we don't know how many babies 3 years and under, out of jealousy and out of power and out of greed. We could look back at Herod and say, well, those are the times, but you know what? Open up the newspapers, read the Twitters, it's still going on today. Maybe not wholesale slaughter, but the death of innocent life. The most obvious is in the womb, abortion. That's the most obvious. And many leaders in the church find that such a grave mark against society. And I agree it is, but we are not a one-concept church. We have many areas of concern. The innocent that are being trafficked as they come across our American borders. The innocent that are picking up fentanyl in the deserts of Arizona and California, from Mexico and other southern countries. The innocent children who can go on the street and buy a fentanyl pill for $3. Maybe here in the city, it's a lot more. I don't price it. But I know there in Arizona, they're so available. And what are they killing, these drugs? Innocent children. Yes, adults are taking them and being addicted as well, but our children, the future of our country, the future of our church, is being threatened by wholesale slaughter of innocent people. Not as a way of getting back at Jesus, then they'd be martyrs, as these children are regarded as martyrs, but a way of expressing some sort of a political power. And who are the victims of that power struggle? The innocent, the addicted, the children. And the cycle goes on. We as American Catholics, I believe, have an obligation to contact our representatives, to put a close watch on people who are in desperate situations, but to bring the desperate situations across our border into our country makes it only worse. So respect is needed. The proper respect with dealing with people as Jesus and Mary were. They were immigrants. They escaped slaughter. Egypt happened to be the place the angel told them to go to, and there in Egypt they found shelter. We as American citizens, I don't think there's anyone here who wasn't planted in the United States by our ancestors. Italian, Slovak, Irish, that's who makes us up as an American community. So we know immigration is important, and the proper immigration of people from all countries should be our goal, the proper immigration, with respect. Regrettably, the holy innocents who are crossing the borders are not even receiving the dignity of health care. And we in our area know the necessity for COVID vaccinations. 1, 2, and the booster besides, and maybe another one down the line, we don't know. But the people who are innocent coming across our borders, seeking shelter, escaping disaster, are stepping into another disaster. And the powers that be choose to ignore that. Herod didn't care that Jesus was born the Messiah. He didn't care. His only question was power. This babe, sought by the Magi, the astrologers from the East, he thought would threaten his throne. Jesus was not a threat to his throne. As he told Pilate, his kingdom was not of this world. So we who follow his kingdom need to hold one another in the hands of God respectfully, need to deal with each other legally with justice, and welcome the immigrant to our borders with proper care and health care and political asylum if necessary. Our ancestors did it. Currently, hundreds of people throughout the world, and that's probably an under-exaggeration, are seeking shelter. As Catholics, our great immigration services are there at all the borders in the South and many other places, doing what we should do: feed the hungry, clothe the naked, give drink and food. That's what our job is as Christians. And we get that job from the mandate of Jesus Christ, nobody less. But we've got to do it in a way that establishes the dignity of all people, the residents as well as the immigrant. We can't do it blind-eyed. We can't just open the borders and pull another Herod, massacring hundreds of people, children, adults, women, men, and taken advantage of them for our political gains. These are people, as those innocent children were people. Jesus was a person, and his parents took him as an immigrant to another country seeking shelter. We respect that. We respect that. And in our country, we have the advantage of strength and monetary strength as well to help the immigrant, to feed the hungry, as Jesus himself mandated in the Beatitudes. So to celebrate the Feast of Holy Innocents is not just another click off the calendar. No, it should prick our consciences as Catholic Americans. We have to look at those who are homeless and treat them with dignity and not look the other way and let them stay on the street. No, because that's not giving them dignity, that's giving them more indignity. That's giving them more lower status of life. Sheltering the homeless is not the same as allowing them to make a mess on our streets. Politics, once again, comes to play. Don't forget, the leader of politics in the time of Jesus was Herod. Who's our Herod today? And who's our Jesus today?